Hello and welcome. My name is Roma, and this is a tutorial guide for a mobile game called Galaxy Online 3. I hope it will help new players to understand some of its key features and mechanics. Please keep in mind that at the start of this recording, the game is still in beta, so many of its features are open for a change. When you first start, you'll be greeted by a short tutorial designed to give you a basic idea on how the game is played. Once complete, you'll have full control from there on. I will start by going over some buildings and their purposes in your base. First structure I'm going to go over is the capital. Its function is pretty straightforward. It is tasked with unlocking other structures, as well as determining the max level cap. Next is the Science Institute. Here you can research in order to gain different bonuses in construction, research production, or overall offense and defense. Upgrading your Science Institute will increase the research speed. Next, we're going to take a look at three types of research production facilities. Over here we have metal extractors. Right here we have helium gas. And over here we have gold. They can additionally be further boosted by three types of facilities. One is a monument, over here. One is the park. And also the fountain. Now let's take a look at Trade Center, aka Black Market. Here you can use either gold or space bucks in order to buy blueprints, resources, or commander shards. You can also go to Resource Exchange and spend your gold in order to get metal or helium. The exchange rates are dependent on the level of the black market. Next on the list we got shipyards. And here we can build our ships. Upgrading it further will unlock more build slots, gives a higher ship stack, and also increases the build speed. Now this is a very important building called the hangar. It gives us an ability to repair some of the ships that we lost in combat. We also have an ability to scrap some of our old designs we no longer use. Upgrading this building increases the percentage of the ships salvaged, or the resources gained from the scrapping. Next, I'm going to go over Research Facility, Blueprints, and Ships. The Research Facility allows us to unlock various preset ship designs by consuming blueprints. In order to unlock Space Hunter 8, for example, we would first need every listed blueprint. You can get blueprints through missions, black market, or explorations. By clicking on the listed blueprint requirement, you can find out exactly what mission drops this particular item. Unlocking ship designs also uses up resources. There are three classes of ships available: frigates, cruisers, and battleships. Frigates sport the least amount of shields and structure points, but they're the most nimble and agile. Battleships, on the other hand, are much more thick-skinned, but are least maneuverable of the three. Cruisers are the middle ground between the two. There is also a rock-paper-scissors mechanic present. Frigates gain damage and accuracy bonus versus battleships, battleships over cruisers, and cruisers over frigates. Next, we're going to take a look on ship statistics. Attack represents the basic offensive value of your craft. The green numbers represents the bonus you receive through research upgrades. Hull stands for your ship's durability, aka HP. You stand at risk of losing your ship when you take hull damage, based on the stability stat over here. Shields, despite of adding on to your health, will prevent you from taking hull damage. Next we got range. It determines the minimal and maximum distances of your weapon fire. Speed determines how many spaces you can move during the combat sequence. Precision represents overall accuracy of your weapons. Agility determines how well you can dodge the enemy incoming fire. Next we got stability, which I already covered. It prevents you from losing ships when you take hull damage. Integrated defense will mitigate some of the damage that you receive. Over here we can see the weapon you have equipped, its basic damage value, its attack range, its accuracy, and its chance of critical strike. Next gives you an idea of your defenses, your shields, your hull, the damage type, and how much of it you can absorb based on the modules you have equipped. Lower, once again, we have the movement value, how much fuel it can hold, and how much fuel your weapons and your defensive modules will consume per activation. Lastly, we got the build times and the build costs. Now I will do my best in trying to explain some of the weapons and armor mechanics. Here we have 4 damage types as well as 4 armors. The 5th armor type is not in the game yet, therefore I'm not going to cover it. Check your weapon to see what kind of a damage it deals. And for example, if it's magnetic, it will deal 50% more towards the nanotype armor, but it will considerably less effective versus somebody who using neutronium or composite. We also have 4 weapon classes, each with their own properties, strengths and weaknesses. We got ballistics, directional, missiles, and ship-based. Ballistic weapons, although have the weakest damage output of the 4 weapon classes, reload instantly, allowing you to fire every turn. They also have the ranges of 1 or 2 spaces, allowing your ship to fire point blank. This makes it a must weapon in order to break through enemies' barricaded gates. Ballistic weapons are also the most fuel efficient per shot. They generally use kinetic and heat damage types. Next we have directional weapon class. It is a medium range and power weapon that fires every 2 turns. It has the ranges of 2 to 5 spaces. It uses very little fuel, making it efficient. Directional weapons use heat and magnetic damage types. Next is a missile weapon class. It has a high damage output, but fires every 3 turns. Its ranges are 5 to 8 spaces. This weapon eats a lot of fuel, and uses only explosive as its damage type. Lastly we have is ship-based weapon class. It is the heaviest hitting weapon in the game, capable of breaking through the hardest shields and thickest armors. The downside of this weapon is long cooldown, firing once only every 4 turns. Think of it as a high-powered sniper rifle. Its ranges are 6 to 10 spaces, so make sure you move fast enough to keep the distance in order to hit. This weapon uses most fuel out of the 4 classes, and it utilizes all damage types. Now we're going to take a look on arguably the most important structure you have, the Academy. Academy allows you to recruit and promote commanders. Commanders are key to a strong force, but I'll go over that a bit later. First we have 2 options, single and triple hire. To the first option, you can hire a single commander for free, out of frequency based on the Academy's current level. Alternatively, you can spend 105 space bucks, but if you do that, I recommend going with a triple option. That is cheaper, and will save you 35 space bucks in the end. On the next tab you will see this menu. Here you will spend a resource called the Relic in order to play the luck draw game to collect commander or commander shots as prizes. You will have the option of picking one of the 4 jackpots here. You can collect relics at the Genesis Nebula Challenge missions or through the daily draw. Next tab is something called Shard Fusion. Here you can upgrade 6 shards into one of a higher rarity. Shards have a sole purpose of promoting commanders. You can acquire shards through elite daily missions or through recruiting a duplicate commander that you already own. On the last tab you have an overview of all the commanders you have gotten and have yet to gain. Just like with shards, they come in 4 different rarities. Green stands for veteran, blue for an elite, purple for legendary, and golden for a mythic. Rarity governs how high the stats gain is per level, as well as how many ships can the commander control in each stack. Let's go deeper into commander stats and abilities. Here you have a description of the commander's powers. Most commanders have a chance to trigger the abilities in combat based on the attributes. In the case of Yardrum, the stats that trigger their power are accuracy and initiative. You can further understand which stats do for your character by clicking over here. Accuracy increases hit rate and damage. Focus increases critical hit rate and critical damage. Initiative affects the ship combat order and increases chains for chain attacks. Chain attacks is something when you attack you have a chance of striking your targets twice. Evasion, self-explanatory, lowers the enemy hit rate and damage when attacked. Over here you have an overview of the specializations your commander might have. Clicking it will expand the list so you can see the details better. For example, ballistic weapons will add 10% damage. Yeah, same thing for frigate. If you're using the frigate type hull, you will also receive the bonus. So it's a good idea to combine the 2 in order to achieve the better results. Now let's talk about commander progression. When you first recruit your commander, it will be a mere level 1, which will significantly limit how many ship stacks they hold per fleet. Leveling up through missions will unlock additional slots. Next we'll take a look on promotions. Promoting the commander will increase their stat pool. It will increase the amount of ships they can use in a single stack, represented by effective command over here. In order to promote, you must have sufficient shards of equal rarity. One thing to go over are gems. They are used to boost your commander's attributes, as well as various offensive and defensive capabilities. You can combine 4 gems in order to upgrade their level, and they are found through galactic gifts or by running secret area challenge missions. Another building worth mention is the guild office. Once you have the access, you can join an alliance. This will help you finish off your daily missions and will give you a resource production boost, depending on how many planets your guild has acquired through guild battles. One of the daily missions requires that you donate some of your resources back into the guild. Doing so will grant you contribution points, which you can in turn spend in the guild mall. Here you can get ships that you normally do not have access to. While expensive, this can help players who are behind on their ship research. With most of the key mechanics out of the way, let's talk about character progression. Over here you have your avatar, which you can switch. Some of them are free, others you have to pay space bucks in order to unlock. Over here you have your name, of course, your current guild, your level, your command points. Command points you generate with time. You also get them through daily sign-in bonuses, or if you finish your missions for the first time successfully. Here you have an option of buying something called the VIP status. It lasts 7 days. It comes in 3 tiers: silver, gold, or diamond. Each will give you different bonuses, such as added construction slots, construction speed, research speed, faster free commander cooldowns, free daily auto raids, as well as giving you daily medal bonuses. And most important of all, it will double some of your daily sign-in bonuses. Speaking of your daily rewards, if you go over here, you can claim your daily gift. As you progress, you will unlock more, and if you have the required VIP status, you will get a double of what's listed. Additionally, you'll get something called Galactic Gift. You get 5 free draws a day, and they have a cooldown in between. Over here we have your task list, and here you can claim rewards for completing various objectives, such as building a specific structure, destroying any amounts of ships, reaching a specific might rating, and so on. On this screen we have your daily task. By completing the missions mentioned, you will get rewards such as resources, command points, and lastly, space bucks. Over here we have an exploration wormhole. Every 10 hours it will grant you a point that you can use to spend in order to scavenge for some blueprints. Let's take a look at the Federation League. In here you can take 4 of your best fleets and challenge a player. It costs some gold, and you have 5 daily tries, but you win something called the honor points, which you can then use to buy specific blueprints. Over here you have your Galactic Ladder, which is similar to Federation League, where you could take up to 8 of your best fleets in order to challenge other players. You will get reward at the end of the week. In both of the modes, you will get your ships and the fuel returned to you. Finally, let's go over some missions. First, let's take a look at the challenge missions. And here, depends on the day of the week, you will get various bonuses, including XP and relics, medals, and gems. Next we have elite missions. In here you get up to 3 free tries daily in order to receive blueprints as well as the commander shards. Last but not least, you have your standard missions. This represents your game's campaign, and most likely where you will end up sinking into most of your command points. In order to unlock the elite missions, you must complete this first. Last, we're going to take a quick look on the PvP. In order to engage another player in combat, first you need to construct a radar tower. It's quite doable early in the game. It does cost some gold in order to scan for another player. When you do, you will find a random NPC or a player. In this case, this is an NPC based on the name, so they're easy to hit. When you first start, you pick a gate that you want to hit from, like so. Select your fleets that you want to attack, and engage. After a short while, you will be able to speed up your combat, if you choose to do so. When fighting another player, first thing I would check for is to see if they are worth hitting to begin with, so if they have enough resources to make it worthwhile. Next, I would look around the map to see what their defenses are like. So they have a couple of barricades here, and some guns. Also, you want to make sure that you have kept every fleet in check, because some players would like to hide their fleets in order to make them seem like an easy prey. With all of that, good luck. Final few things I forgot to mention is that your space station will determine the amount of fleets you can take into a fight, as well as whichever direction your fleets will be facing, you can turn them right like so, will determine the direction they'll be facing when they start a mission. With this, I say goodbye, and I hope you found this video helpful, and I wish you good luck. Take care.